Hello everybody, welcome to today's APING altcoins. We're going to take a look at 2 altcoins for this video, and then we are going to do a start to finish, a full analysis of a third altcoin later tonight for our live stream at 6 p.m. EST. First, I'd like to take a very brief look at BTC because we're finally seeing some action. This will have a lot to do with the altcoins that we're going to do an analysis of. I'm looking at this impulse wave where we have 1, 2, put in a beautiful 3 to this about 21K area. We can see we had a liquidity pocket here, right? So we came up, grabbed some liquidity. We are rejecting off the 17.5K VWAP. I would expect some degree of a move down, at least to the 382 here, maybe a little bit lower to the, about 20,100, around the 20K range, and then have some degree of a continuation, filling this fair value gap, tapping the weekly mid-range naked point of control and the range value area high. There's a lot of resistance in this upper zone here. One thing I will say that I've been finding is that we are getting a little bit extra of a pump than we would expect. So, here maybe we would look for a move to, almost right on the dot about the weekly, or maybe the midline where it's a little bit lower. It may be fair to say that we'll see actually move to about 22 to get a little bit of a move up where people are like, oh my goodness, should we be shorting this, trap some more shorts or some longs, and then actually getting our move down, right, to put in our ABC. So with that said, we'll dive into some alts. We'll take a look at FTM. So this one was actually really interesting, a very fun chart for me to take a look at. There's a lot to unpack here. So we can see we do have this upper range here that we have broken down from, and ultimately then put in this lower range and what is a, also a descending triangle here. So we can see we have 1, 2, we'd be looking for a third tap of this descending triangle, to which either then we would likely break down, test back at the bottom here for support, and then from there either break up on our fourth touch and break out of this descending triangle, or we would actually have a breakdown and hit our last line of defense, which if actually broken through would mean new all-time lows according to this chart. So here's kind of what I would look at for some upcoming trades and some signs of strength here. Again, so on the daily chart here we do have this descending triangle, and we can see that we tested support down here, broke down, and are now coming back to retest it. And if BTC provides the right conditions and this altcoin can find some strength, we would expect a move back up into here, back test this as support. If we get a daily and especially a weekly closure back inside here, back test it and have some degree of continuation, that may be a good sign for a long scenario where we can at least get to this monthly, then daily, and possibly even back to the mid-range of this sideways channel and also the top of the triangle. So that's given we do gain this acceptance back in here. Ultimately getting back up to the top of this triangle here, testing it again for a third time would be my overall final target. Maybe we have some kind of a fake out to the upside, and then we ultimately break down and retest it again. Now, on the other hand, if BTC does not provide the conditions for this alt to continue pumping, ultimately we would just reject from here, right? Fail to back test this downtrend line here and actually fall through, and ultimately I would just look back down to this weekly or mid time frame value area high, or value area low, I'm sorry, and then breaking down into our last line of defense, right? So this is really a key moment for FTM. If it is going to have some degree of a continuation, it really does need to break through here. Breaking out of this downtrend line is really good, but getting back into this channel and flipping it to support is a sign that we're at least ready to go to the midline. Okay, so keep that in mind. Look for a daily closure, a weekly closure inside this range. As a matter of fact, I'm going to set some alerts here, where if we do break up above that and we get that nice closure, we can look to maybe take some longs, like I said, at the very least, to some of these first couple targets here. Okay, we'll take a look at RUNE, a very similar structure. It's even more clear with the range on the top here, from bottom to top, bottom to top, bottom to top. A breakdown and a back test, a perfect back test. This is actually really nice. Perfect back test, and then breaking down to support once again. Ultimately just wicking, right? Just getting a wick below this previous level here. If we just go ahead and draw a horizontal line, you can see that we just wicked below but managed to keep closing above, so that is a sign that it is holding as support. And you know, much like the last chart here, ultimately what we would want to see is a significant closure above this key line here, which is a previous daily, our lowest daily from over here. If we can gain acceptance back above there, then I don't see any reason why we can't start to tackle some of these resistance points to the upside, ultimately looking towards this high time frame point of control, which I would expect to be our next major point of resistance in the event that we do gain this acceptance back up above this area here and look for some degree of continuation. And ultimately, again, so you know, 1, 2, going for our third target there, and then eventually coming down and testing support to either coming back up and breaking out or then breaking down, right? This would sort of be my macro take on this. If, when, or if price does get to this monthly level in this red resistance zone, this is a really, really, really key area of resistance that I would most definitely look to short in the event that the price does actually get the push up higher. So that'll do it for our altcoins today, FTM and RUNE. Tonight for our live stream, I am going to do a third altcoin from start to finish. I'm going to show you my analysis from a clean chart, diving in as to how I put together an analysis like this. So I really hope to see you guys there. It's at 6 p.m. EST tonight. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you all in the Discord as well.